Hello guys and welcome back again. So Ferrari has decided to release a brand new car. So usually I would not make any videos on new car releases or anything because I think it's kind of a boring thing. I made one previously in the GR GT because it's actually a car worth highlighting to talk about. But today we have a brand new Ferrari that has just been released this morning actually. And it's called the Ferrari Luce. So, very interesting name that they call the Luce. It sounds like something you'd find in a fashion brand rather than a car model. But this car in particular is an electric crossover Ferrari utility vehicle. So, this is how the Ferrari Luce looks like. And I've talked to a lot of my friends, but also car guys like me, and a lot of them say it looks like a computer mouse. Which I am not, I think that is, literally true, because the car is just, it's very, very blocky. It looks like if you took a block and you smooth it out and you're like, yeah, we're just done for the day. It just looks so basic that it's so hard to call it a Ferrari, because I don't know what in the design makes it feel like a Ferrari. I'm not a car designer, I don't know design traits in cars, but I just know, just by looking at the car, that what I think it is, if you actually took the Ferrari badges off this car, I would have think that this was some new Fiat crossover electric SUV. Because in so many ways, I can see a lot of Fiat in it. But at the same time, I found out that the car's designer is actually designer of the original iPhone. And I can actually see design traits from an iPhone on the car. Because I remember when the original iPhone came out, it was a very, blocky but smoothened out kind of thin, not really thin, but a little bit thin kind of rectangle, and I can kind of see that how it's a thin rectangle, it's a thick rectangle, and it's just very smoothing out. So I think that's what it is. It looks like if you made an iPhone a car. And personally, I don't like the design. If I was thinking about a Ferrari, there's a lot of Ferraris I like, but my favorite Ferrari design, as much as it ends as my dream car, I have to give it to the Ferrari 599 GTP Fiorano. I think that car is a genuinely great looking car for what it is. It's just, you have a long hood in the front, it's a two-door GT Berlinetta Coupe Ferrari. It's a proper Ferrari. Now people are going to say, oh, but aren't Ferraris mid-engine? The proper Ferrari is always mid-engine. No, when Ferrari first made their car, the first car was front-engine. So I always think a front-engine, two-seater, rear-wheel drive Ferrari is a proper Ferrari. Even mid-engine Ferraris are proper Ferraris. But I think the Ferrari Luce is really trying to alienate what a Ferrari really is, because they don't have designers who've worked on previous Ferraris. It's a completely new designer designing a completely new car. So, yeah, I don't dig the design. I don't think it's great. I feel like it just looks way too simplified and blocky, and it doesn't appeal to me at all. So, my opinions on the interior of the Ferrari Luce. Well, first of all, I think it's a very basic interior. It doesn't feel like what I think when I think about a Ferrari. You can see some Ferrari in it, the steering wheel. You really just look at it and you can see, they've incorporated some classic design elements from other Ferraris. The steering wheel really reminds me of the Testarossa or the F40 steering wheel. It really reminds you when they really took that design from there. But also, the dash is super basic. It's the most basic dash I've ever seen. Not the most basic, but for a Ferrari, it's the most basic. I can definitely see the way how they've carried some heritage Ferrari designs, but I've also seen how even some of the designs look like something Apple would make. Because actually, the creator of the original iPhone, not the creator, but mainly the designer, is actually designing the Ferrari Luce. So I can definitely see with the aluminium and the screen, how that correlates to the iPhone type of design. But I do appreciate how they kind of use physical buttons a bit, and they try to make the dashboard look like a Testarossa dashboard. I can see by the gauges, it really reminds me of like a Testarossa or an F40 style gauge cluster. So that is really cool, and I like how you can change some settings with actual physical knobs. That is a very, very nice detail. But I think the interior is really just too urban looking, too basic looking. It doesn't really, when you look at the interior, it doesn't really feel like, yeah, you're sitting in a Ferrari. It just feels like you're just sitting in a crossover SUV that's just branded like a Ferrari. So yeah, it definitely is a radically different interior design, but I feel like Ferrari has really been recently taking a step down in the interior designs in general. I think look at the last decently well-made interior, it's probably the Ferrari 812, maybe the 488. Those cars had decently designed interiors, but after that, Ferrari really just fell off with the interior designs. Now, let's get into the Ferrari Luce spec. Now to start off with, we should start with the dimensions. So, the Ferrari Luce is about 5,026mm in length. Let's also compare to the Ferrari Purosangue, their current SUV, which is 4,973mm in length. The width of the Luce is 1,999mm, while the Purosangue is actually 2,028mm width, and the height is 1,544mm of the Luce, and the Purosangue is 3,018mm. The weight, the wheelbase of the Luce is 2,961mm, while the Purosangue is 3,018mm. And the weight of the Luce is actually more than a Purosangue. So the Luce weighs about 2,260 kilograms, while the Purosangue only weighs 2,180 kilograms. So it's actually 80 kilos heavier than the Purosangue, that has more features and more stuff. It's just more heavy in general because it has a big V12, but somehow the Luce is just still more heavier. Now, in terms of tires, you get 23-inch tires on the front, 265/35 R23 tires, and the rear you get 24-inch tires, 315/30 R24 tires. Also, the Luce can actually go from 0 to 100 km per hour in 2.5 seconds, or even 6.8 seconds sprint to 200 km per hour. Though it's not surprising. Most EVs can just literally do that. So it's not really that surprising. And also under the Luce is a 122 kilowatt-hour battery pack with a total of 12 electric motors, 3 per wheel, and 4 of them, 1 per wheel. I'm just reading some article off the drive. And the battery is made out of 15 modules with 305 kilowatt per kilogram energy density with 800 volts, and it can accept to a maximum recharging power of 350 kilowatts and has 2 charging ports. So from power of 4 electric motors is quoted up to 772 kilowatts, which is a lot, and a torque of 990 newton meters. That just is not surprising, because it's not really, it's an electric car. There's nothing really too much of. And also, apparently, it can also reach a maximum top speed estimated from 260 km per hour to 310 km per hour. So, yeah, pretty much it's all just electric BS. specs that probably nobody cares about. So, yeah, that's pretty much the specs of the car. And my thoughts are, why are journalists just going and praising the car, saying, oh yeah, it has a fantastic interior, or has a fantastic design? Like, I'm not hating on the journalists, but I'm questioning, like, are they, like, actually, like, contracted by the companies just to talk about a bunch of BS about the car, when really, it's not really a surprising car? Like, most EVs I've been seeing these days, they have mostly the same specs, mostly powered by the same thing, and also, I think this car is just straight up hideous. I don't like the exterior, and the interior is really, really mid. Like, I really don't like the interior compared to other Ferraris I've seen. I think the best example of an interior is probably the Ferrari F12. That probably has one of the best Ferrari interiors you can ask for, or even you can go slightly older and go for a Ferrari F430, because I think that also has a great interior. But yeah, I don't get it why, like, the journalists praise the cars, but then I actually talk to other people in general, and they don't really like the car at all. They just don't think it's a Ferrari. So yeah, I don't get the whole praising thing with this car when it's not really something cool. It's just Ferrari wants to, like, try to go to this, like, market of EVs, and just they want to try to, like, dominate the luxury EV market, which everybody knows is not true, because nobody's buying an electric Ferrari except if they have a hole in their brain. And who would buy a Ferrari for efficiency? That's just not worth it. It's like if you're gonna buy it's like if you're gonna go buy a loaf of bread, but you're going to buy the other loaf of bread just because the quote-unquote quality is better, even though the cheaper loaf of bread is exactly the same. It's the same with this Ferrari. You'd rather just go get a cheap EV than go and waste $900,000 on a stupid EV. And to be honest, I'd rather buy a Ferrari 599. And also, just one thing to add on before I go, I have to say, Ferrari stocks have been falling heavily, and they fell down by more than 6% of stocks just by releasing the car. So it clearly shows people are not happy with it. I've looked at all different types of forums and social media where people actually own Ferraris and they don't like it. It's actually even trending in some social media platforms. That's just ridiculous. So it really shows how Ferrari's bold move is not really a great move, because at first they'll get the big publicity, but after that it will just be negative. So I feel like the Ferrari Luce, really, it's not a great car. I feel like it's really something like you could just use AI to design, because it just looks that basic. So yeah, I just don't think what Ferrari's doing with this electric SUV move is a good move. I feel like instead of the other companies trying to be like other companies, they should just actually keep their identity and try to, like, keep that kind of market of exclusive, proper supercars. Anyways, that's it. That's pretty much the video. Thank you guys for watching my second ever car review video. I'm not car review, mainly just actual IRL car release review videos. So I'm not good at this. Hopefully I get better at it, but it's just one of my first tries. I just give my honest opinions. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy your day, and I'll see you later. Goodbye.